This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news on this Thursday night where the World Cup begins, and it's another slow week from Manchester United on the transfer news front where potentially Sandro Tonali as well as Elliot Anderson are both going to end up at Manchester City. Hopefully a bid is going to go in for Matheus Fernandes by at least the end of this week. And potentially we might be getting Lewis Hall out of Newcastle after apparently he has fell out with Eddie Howe. So hopefully Manchester United are going to start moving. Like, I would really like Manchester United to start moving a little bit, because even though the transfer window's not open, it's not open till the 15th of June, is it? And I'm just finding it a little bit too slow for my liking. I thought getting in the Ederson deal, I thought Manchester United would start moving a little bit. I thought things would be a little bit quicker. And I thought Manchester United would be getting in a few more players and getting out a few more players as well. But to be honest with you, even though you've got the World Cup, you can still do deals, you can still sign players, and you can still get rid of players as well. So I don't know what Manchester United are waiting for. Manchester City have gone in yesterday with a world record bid for Elliot Anderson, and apparently Manchester United have got no ambition to match that offer or better the offer, and basically they're going to leave Elliot Anderson to go to Man City, which shows, in my opinion and in my view, a lack of ambition from Manchester United once again to back a manager who we are trying to rebuild the club under, basically leaving Michael Carrick as a sitting duck, which really worries me, because Michael Carrick was given the job to lead this club back. And if he doesn't get backed, and he doesn't get the players he wants, and he doesn't get rid of the players he doesn't want, then basically we're repeating the Ruben Amorim system. We're basically doing what we did to Ten Hag. We're doing what we did to Mourinho, and we're basically doing what we did to Van Gaal, and we're basically doing what we did to Ollie as well. We're not backing the manager, and this is all going to end in tears once again, where they probably get Michael Carrick to do an interview live on MUTV crying like a little puppy dog because he's lost his job and he's been sacked. This really worries me, because again, we've been given spin for the last 9 months, have we not? We have been given nothing more than pure spin. We've got more spin than a Buddy Beyblade. We're basically a Beyblade. We keep spinning round and round and round and round again, trying to spin positivity. They try to say, we are going to be ambitious in this market, we're going to try to be ambitious in this transfer window, and at the end of the day, we want Elliot Anderson. They've been banging on their drum about Elliot Anderson for the last 9 months, have they not? And he's going to end up at Manchester City. And again, that shows a lack of ambition from us, and it shows more ambition from a Manchester City side to rebuild that team under Enzo Maresca, who is Manchester City's new manager. And Pep's not long just gone, by the way. But Manchester City are going to continue to move in a better direction than what we're going to do. And again, they're paying stupid money. They made an offer of 120 million and it got rejected. So at the end of the day, are we going to match that? Are we going to better that offer? I don't think we're going to do anything. I don't think we're going to match that offer. I don't think we're going to better it, because apparently we want players that want to come to this football club. That's the line that's coming out of Man United. And I would get that and I respect it, but it doesn't mean I have to agree the way things are going and the operation behind this potential massive rebuild this club was meant to be having this summer. And at the end of the day, people will tell me, you've got the World Cup in the way. You have got the World Cup in the way. You've got the World Cup in the way. We can't do deals. We can't do signings. We can't bring players in and players can't go out. The World Cup is a massive hurdle that everybody has to overcome. I completely and utterly disagree. Absolutely sod the World Cup. Absolutely sod the World Cup. The World Cup is just a B-Tech bloody European Championships. No one really gives a shit about the World Cup. Let's be honest here. Let's call a spade a spade. The World Cup is no excuse. If Manchester City get Elliot Anderson and Sandro Tonali, I don't know where Manchester United go. Because if that Man City midfield is containing Anderson and Tonali as well as Rodri, then Manchester City have already got a better midfield than what we've got already for next season. And we've basically only brought Ederson. And that's all we've done. All we've done is brought Ederson, and he's gone to the World Cup with Brazil. And the bad thing about this is, if Ederson gets injured and he comes back from the World Cup and he ain't fit, the Man United are going to be in big trouble. Because Casemiro's gone, Agate's going to get sold anyway. So basically, all Man United are going to have left is Kobbie Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes. Please drop me a follow, tap the screen, would really appreciate it. I don't know where Manchester United are going to go. I don't know where Man United are going to go, because apparently we are going to put a bid in for Matheus Fernandes in the next few days. Apparently it's going to be 75 million euros. And I don't know how much that is in English money, but if that bid gets rejected, Man United are going to end up having to pay up for at least one of the midfield targets that they want. Man United are going to have to pay up. They've got no excuse. If you don't get Matheus Fernandes, and you're not going to get Tonali, and you're not going to get Elliot Anderson, who are you going to bring in? Because Hayden Hackney ain't the answer. And I'm telling you now, if you're bringing in Carlos Baleba, then that ain't the answer either. That really, really ain't the answer. If you're going to bring those two in, and we don't get Tonali, and we don't get Anderson, and we don't get Fernandes, Man United are going to be scrapping at straws again. We're probably going to take this to deadline day, and we're going to be scraping at the barrel trying to bring players in. And from a Michael Carrick perspective, I want all the signings in before the start of the season. I want all these signings in. And if it doesn't happen, pre-season is going to be a waste of time. Pre-season will be a complete waste because none of the new players are going to be there. You've then got the rest from the World Cup as well. I mean, can we still get Tchouaméni out of Real Madrid? I mean, look at Real Madrid's transfers, by the way. Look at Real Madrid's transfers. They're bringing in Bernardo Silva on a free, Konate on a free, and they're bringing in Dumfries from Inter Milan. You've got Barcelona bringing in Anthony Gordon. You've got Tottenham bringing in Sensi, Andy Robertson, and they're getting that Brighton centre-back as well. Honestly, I don't understand why we're sat here again near the end of the week and we haven't done anything. No players have been brought. No players have been got rid of. What are we doing as a football club? Like, seriously, what are we doing? And if it's about 64 million for Matheus Fernandes, that bid's going to get rejected. I guarantee you 64 million, if that gets rejected by West Ham, the Man United ain't got nowhere to go. We ain't got nowhere to go. Because if Anderson goes for 120 to 130 million to Man City, and then they go and get Tonali, Manchester United are going to be screwed. Manchester United are going to be absolutely screwed. We've only brought Ederson, but he's at the World Cup. But if he gets injured, you've got no Agate, because he's gone. Casemiro's gone. All you've got is Kobbie Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes, and that's it. And if that is the way we're going, then we're going to be absolutely screwed. We're going to be absolutely screwed. I'm sorry to say, I expected Manchester United to be banging in signings soon as the season finished. And it hasn't happened. All you've done is bring in Ederson. That's all you've done for the last week or so. You've brought in Ederson. Like, well done. You bought a really, really cheap midfielder on the cheap with 1 year left on his deal. The lack of ambition at this football club absolutely stinks. The lack of ambition by this football club absolutely stinks. We're back in the Champions League. We're playing European football. I thought we were meant to be an attractive proposition. What are we doing to these players? What are we trying to do to convince these players to join? What are you trying to give these players to convince them that Manchester United is going to be the right step? What's going to happen? Because Tonali's not at the World Cup. Matheus Fernandes isn't at the World Cup. So why are Man United coming up with excuses that we're not going to overpay anymore? Those days have actually gone. We're not overpaying anymore. But the problem is the market is going to get inflated because of the Elliot Anderson fee. The market is going to absolutely explode because of Elliot Anderson ending up at Manchester City. And most other teams are going to be demanding an extra 20 to 30 million on top now for their players that we want. They're going to go to Man United. Well, Man City have just paid 130 million for Elliot Anderson. We want another 20 on top of Fernandes and Belieber and Alex Scott. These clubs are going to rinse everybody over the summer. Everybody is going to get absolutely rinsed. And this is the problem. We needed signings. Soon as that season finishes. Manchester United should have made moves. And look how long it took to get Ederson. It took 2 to 3 weeks to bring Ederson in. That isn't good enough. You should be getting in a signing one inside a week. It doesn't take long to discuss personal terms. It doesn't take long to negotiate and agree a transfer fee. Please drop me a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. I'm just expressing the way things are looking, that the ambition that Manchester United are showing from my point of view, I don't agree with. I don't think we're showing any ambition in this transfer window. I don't see an ambition. I don't see a target. And I don't see how anyone is meant to be positive about how slow we seem to be at transfers. We've got Omar Barada opening his mouth up saying, we want to chase down Arsenal. In a couple of seasons, we want to win the Premier League. We are nowhere near winning the Premier League. We're nowhere near it. We're not winning the Premier League. We're not chasing down Arsenal. That gap is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Manchester City are going to go closer and closer to Arsenal, and then we are going to keep falling behind. The Champions League, we need at least 6 signings. 6 signings isn't enough. 6 signings isn't enough. I think we need at least 7 to 8 players. But the problem is, Man United are too slow. Man United are way too slow. You need to be doing a signing every single week. You should be doing a signing every single week. Not every 2 to 3 weeks. Because it took a month to bring Mbeumo in. Remember the Mbeumo deal last summer, where every Man United fan was moaning about how long it took to bring Mbeumo in? Remember how long it took to bring Sesko in? And look how long it took to bring in Matheus Cunha as well. Man United are too slow. Man United are too slow. Man United are a problem club. They are a massive problem. Please drop me a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate that. Please drop me a follow. I don't believe Omar Barada. I don't believe Ineos. And I tell you what, I do not believe the Glazers. They ain't backing Carrick. Carrick is being used as a puppet in a string. And we can't use the World Cup as an excuse. We cannot use the World Cup as an excuse. The World Cup is not an excuse. There's plenty of players Manchester United could get that are not at the World Cup. Sod the World Cup. Club comes first over country every single day of the week. Club comes first over country. I want Man United to win the Premier League than us in England win the World Cup. Because we're not going to win the World Cup. We're crap. I want Man United to win the Champions League. England ain't winning the World Cup. We're crap. We can't use the World Cup as an excuse. I don't see Manchester City not bidding for Elliot Anderson while he's at the World Cup with England. They still put a bid in and made that bid. And he's at the World Cup. We need Tonali, says Brandon. Do you think any of the youth may be coming through? I don't think our youth squad's good enough. Maybe Obi Martin and JJ Gabriel. And apart from that, I can't really say anyone else. Lewandowski on a free. Man United are looking at Lewandowski, by the way. Man United are looking at Lewandowski. And 8Ball has just said, it's not good enough, we need more. Exactly. What are Manchester United doing? Why are we so slow at transfers? Do you know why we're slow? It's because we've got incompetent people working at this football club. We have got incompetent shits working at this football club who don't give a fuck. This is the big problem with Manchester United. Ineos and the Glazers, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They don't give a crap. Why is our club moving like interested FC? Lewandowski, you only thought Xerxes was slow. But at the end of the day, Man United want an experienced striker Francesco can learn off. I would not be against bringing Lewandowski in on a free on a year's contract. I would not be against that. I wouldn't be against it. And thank you for the rose as well. Please drop me a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. I would not be against Lewandowski coming in. I would not be against it. Lewandowski is an experienced striker that we actually need. We need to bring in. Because Xerxes ain't good enough. That was figured out under Ten Hag. It was figured out under Amorim. And it was figured out under Michael Carrick. Xerxes ain't good enough. And if you're bringing Lewandowski on a free, I ain't going to complain about that. Francesco can learn off Lewandowski. He can learn on it off him. Ineos care, as Jim Ratcliffe says, he wants to win the league. I don't think Ineos care. I don't think Sir Jim Ratcliffe actually gives a damn. I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe is only there to get money out of the club, just like what the Glazers are doing. Sir Jim Ratcliffe doesn't give a damn. Ineos don't give a damn. I honestly do not see an ambitious football club. I see a football club going backwards. I want players being signed every day. I want players being get rid of every day. And Man United are too slow. We take ages at negotiating. And we take ages getting players out. And we take ages getting players in. Man United have got to move. But we are slower than the bloody snail from the tortoise and the hare. We are too slow. What you on about, son? It's the World Cup and we made a transfer 350 grand a week for Lewandowski, clueless. Even with the new stadium, South Africa's striker is better than Xerxes, says Brandon. If we can get him on a free, it's a no-brainer. Exactly. I mean, we are being linked massively with Lewis Hall. And apparently, Lewis Hall, well, if you want a transfer per day in the World Cup, you're dreaming. Calm down, says Mick. I'm not going to calm down. I'm just expressing how I feel about the situation that we are in. I'm just trying to care about the fans, the supporters. I want to win trophies. I want next season to be a success. I don't want us going out the Champions League early on and then having to then get back into the top four again just to get back into it. Because if we're going to rely on the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, good luck to Michael Carrick even trying to win them. Honestly, good luck to Michael Carrick next season. If none of his players are here at the start of August, then Michael Carrick might as well resign. Michael Carrick might as well resign now. Because if he ain't getting backed and he ain't getting the players he needs, then what's the point of him doing his job? Honestly, I want Man United to succeed, but I am not happy the way things are going. If Manchester United want Mateus Fernandes, then put a bloody bid in. What are you waiting for? I know the price tag might be 85 million, but go to West Ham and slap 60 to 65 million on the table and say to them, that's all we're giving you. We're not giving you any more. If 85 million's the price tag, you can do one. You're not getting 85 million. 65 million should get that Fernandes deal done from West Ham. But Man United haven't even put a bloody bid in. I mean, you've got every journalist like David Ornstein, Ben Jacobs, Fabrizio Romano, banging on. Man United like Fernandes. Man United like Fernandes. Why have Man United not put a bid in then? If they haven't put a bid in and they like him, why has a bid not gone in? Why has a bid not gone in? If you want that player, put a bloody bid in. Because if you don't get Fernandes and you can't get Tonali, I mean, Manchester City are looking at Tonali, by the way. Please drop me a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. Lucas says, love the jacket, pal. Appreciate that, buddy. It's a tracksuit, but I absolutely love it. Please drop a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. If Tonali ends up at Manchester City, as well as Elliot Anderson, and thank you for the heart, me. If he ends up at Manchester City with Anderson, Man City's midfield has just gone up another gear. Man City's midfield has got better than ours already. And apparently Tonali wants to go back to AC Milan. I don't know how true that is because of Tonali's wages, but we're going to have to wait and see if Newcastle let him go. But again, it's the point of Man United need to be quicker than what they're doing. We've got to be quicker. We're too slow. If I'm working for that football club and I'm part of the board, I'm going to be telling Sir Jim and I'm telling the Glazers, we need to start moving. We need to start getting some bids on the table for the players that we like and we want. We need to start putting a bid in. Because if Man United really want Matheus Fernandes, go and get him. Put a bloody bid in. What are you waiting for? Go and put a bid in. Like, it's not difficult. Say to West Ham, it's 60 to 65 million or we're not buying him. And then Matheus Fernandes maybe pushes for the move. He puts a transfer request in and tells West Ham to do one. Maybe he does that. But I'm not sure he will because he's probably got too much respect for the fans and the supporters. He's only just got relegated, by the way. I mean, he's got 3 clubs relegated, by the way. That's another thing. He has got 3 clubs relegated, Southampton and West Ham. And I can't remember the other club. But if Man United like that player, then Man United need to put a bloody bid in. Because I'm fed up with all these in-the-know sources on Twitter pretending that they actually know facts and pretending that they've actually got inside info about what players we're going to get. Deals have been agreed. Personal terms are there. It's about getting a deal done with the club. We need some efficiency from Manchester United. Fernandes can't be the best midfielder we get, says Jack. Exactly. I mean, Tchouaméni, don't rule that out. But I know Manchester United want Matheus Fernandes and they also like Alex Scott. But again, Bournemouth are demanding 80 million for Alex Scott. I don't know where all of a sudden some of these clubs have put stupid price tags on their players. Like you're playing for Bournemouth, you're playing for West Ham, and you're demanding 80 odd million. Like, I don't know what planet Bournemouth and West Ham must be on. But they must be on planet bloody Pluto. Honestly, they must be on planet Pluto, which doesn't even exist anymore. Honestly, it makes no sense. It makes no sense what's going on. Please drop a follow, tap the screen, would really appreciate it. I'm just getting really frustrated. I'm getting so frustrated because you see it every single day on Twitter. Every single person who has inside information. I doubt they've even got sources. I doubt they've even got sources. 80 million for a 2-time relegation player, lol. You should sign Daniel De Rossi. Once we get Fabregas over the line, we're complete, says Gary. Listen, they've got a player you want. You pay what they ask, end of. But again, the problem is, if you want Alex Scott, that's 80 million. If you want Matheus Fernandes, that's 80 million. That's 160 million, nearly to 200 million pounds worth of investment on the midfield alone. You've still got to sort out the left back. You've still got to sort out the left winger. You've still got to sort out the backup striker and the backup goalkeeper. So that's another 4 signings that Manchester United need to make. And again, like Lewis Hall today, Samuel Luckhurst has come out and said that Lewis Hall wants to leave Newcastle. He's not handed a transfer request in, but he wants to leave, and if Man United's interest is there, he's interested in wanting to move. But apparently he's fell out with Eddie Howe. And apparently this is all over because he got left out of the England squad for the World Cup. So I actually don't blame Lewis Hall. I do feel sorry for the guy because he would have been ideal at left back for us. But obviously O'Reilly's probably going to be starting against Croatia next Wednesday evening in the World Cup. So, again, Lewis Hall probably would have been a backup bench option anyway. But, again, I still would have taken Lewis Hall anyway. But, again, Lewis Hall's better than Dalot. Lewis Hall's better than Luke Shaw. Lewis Hall's better than Mazraoui. Like, Lewis Hall is better than all 3 of those players put together. He's such a better player than all 3 of them combined. And I want Lewis Hall. We've probably got a full-time left-back solution in Lewis Hall. Because he's not even 24 yet. He's only 23. He's played for Chelsea, he's played for Newcastle, and now he wants out. So if he wants out, Man United need to go to a bid to Newcastle and bid for him. But Newcastle wants 70 million. Barcode FC wants 70 million for Lewis Hall. They want 70 bloody million. And again, I don't understand where you're getting these price tags from. Newcastle need to sell. They may have sold Anthony Gordon to Barcelona, But at the end of the day, Newcastle have still got to sell to improve that squad. And I know Newcastle are looking at this new winger from Spain. So that money is going to come out the Anthony Gordon sale. So then Newcastle are going to need more money and they're going to have to make some more sales. And I think the most likely player that's going to have to go will be Lewis Hall. Because I know he wants to come to Manchester United. I think he wants Manchester United. And I don't blame the guy for wanting Manchester United. It's Champions League football. Newcastle aren't even in Europe next season. That's how shit Newcastle have got. They're not even in Europe next season. He wants to leave. Samuel Luckhurst has come out and said he wants to leave. No transfer request has been handed in, no, but he wants to leave. And if Man United's interest is there, he is interested. So again, Man United need to start making some moves. They really, really need to start making a move, and they need to start doing it a little bit quicker than what they're actually doing, because I don't like the pace that we're going at. Everything's too slow. We seem to register interest in players that we want, but putting bids in, it takes Man United forever to ever do anything, and this is the big problem I have got. It's too slow. You need to be working day and night to bring players in and get players out. I honestly question if the Glazers and Ineos are sat there playing fucking Football Manager, signing players that we want on there. They're probably sat there with a packet of crisps playing fucking Football Manager. Honestly, I don't get why things are so slow. I don't get why things are so slow. I don't get it. I really, really don't get it. I don't understand why we're so slow. We don't have too slow. It's the World Cup. Clubs will wait for players to perform and increase their value. Adam, I know there's a World Cup going on, buddy, but that ain't no excuse. That is no excuse. Tonali's not at the World Cup. Mateus Fernandes, he ain't at the World Cup. Man City put a bid in for Elliot Anderson yesterday, and he's at the World Cup, and it got rejected. Tottenham have signed 3 players. Real Madrid have signed 3 players. Barcelona have brought in Anthony Gordon, and he's at the World Cup. That ain't no excuse. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't agree. But I respect your opinion. You can't use the World Cup as an excuse not to do business and not to sign players and to get rid of players as well. That ain't no excuse. I'm really sorry. If you're Manchester United, hang your heads in shame again for not backing a manager in Michael Carrick, because this is what's going to happen. They're not going to back Michael Carrick. It's all going to go wrong, and then he's going to get sacked. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. If they won't back him, this is going to end up like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer all over again. They're going to not back him. The players he won't get. Players he wanted to get rid of won't be sold. And Man United are going to be stuck in the same situation all over again because we aren't doing anything. And again, I know the window opens next week. I know the window opens next week. I understand that. But clubs are still signing players. Clubs are still signing players. Real Madrid are still signing players. Barcelona are still signing players. Tottenham are still signing players. Even though the window's not officially opened, clubs are bringing in players now. And it's like Man United are waiting for that window to open. It's like Man United are waiting for that window to open before we do anything. But all we've done is Ederson. All we've done is bring Ederson in. And I'm sorry to say, this isn't Ederson's fault, but that ain't enough. You said, Man United came out and said they would sign 3 midfielders and they've only signed 1. Where's the other 2 midfielders then? Where's the other 2 midfielders then? Because at the end of the day, they ain't there. Where's the other 2 midfield signings? Why haven't you done anything? Why haven't you done anything in terms to get the other 2 in? And Dylan says it's June. I get that. I understand that. But if you want to succeed, you have got to be quicker in business. You've got to be bigger in transfers. You have got to start moving. You've got to start moving. I'm not trying to bring drama. I'm just expressing a transfer update about how I feel about the way this situation is. You can't use the World Cup as an excuse. You can't use the World Cup as an excuse. We can't use that as an excuse. You can't use the World Cup as an excuse. Tonali's not the World Cup. Matheus Fernandes isn't the World Cup. Man City put a bid in for Elliot Anderson. He's at the World Cup. I don't see Man City wasting time. Please drop me a follow, tap the screen, would really appreciate it. I'm sorry to say, chill, your club's finished anyway, says York City. What makes you think Fernandes is a good signing? Because he's literally West Ham's best player. Man United obviously see potential and quality in that player to bring him in. I'm just giving you the latest news and transfer news, what's coming out from Old Trafford. We want Lewis Hall, we want Lewandowski, and we're going to try and go for a Belieber as well, if that doesn't work out, and potentially Alex Scott. Man United need to make their mind up. Man United really need to start making their mind up. Is it Alex Scott and Fernandes? Is it Alex Scott and Belieber? Is it Alex Scott and Fernandes? Is it Alex Scott and... I don't know what we're doing. Ben says you won't get Lewis or Belieber way past it, to be fair. Why do we want Lewandowski, says Tom. Who should replace Casemiro, says Brandon. We want Scott and Fernandes. We are trying to get a good deal. I hear what you're saying, Dylan. I hear what you're saying. We do want Alex Scott and we do want Matheus Fernandes. But Man United apparently are going to wait. How long's a piece of string? How long is a piece of string? Realistically, how long is a piece of string? Because if Man United are going to sit there and tell everybody, we're going to wait, we're going to be patient, we need to let those price tags come down, then we are going to be waiting a very, very long time. And I agree with Tom. Alex Scott ain't worth 80 million. Alex Scott ain't worth 80 million. He ain't worth 80 million. Absolutely nowhere near it for a Bristol City reject. He ain't nowhere near worth 80 million. Wait until the price comes down, 80 million for a relegated Fernandes. I'd rather wait a month and save 20 million on Fernandes and 10 on Scott. You have another signing, Onana is back. Yeah, Onana is back from his loan, and so is Rashford as well. I can't understand why Manchester United haven't got rid of Onana yet. And I can't understand why they haven't got rid of Rashford. Like, what are you guys waiting for? I don't know why they don't just sell Rashford for 15 to 20 million. Let Barcelona have him on the cheap. Just let Barcelona have him for like 15, 20 million and let him go. His wage is off the book. And as for Onana, just let him go for like 15 odd million. Just let him go. Just let Onana go cheap. Because he ain't good enough. Trabzonspor want him back. Let him go back then. Let him go back, but you tell them we want the money. We want the money. I'm not doing loan deals again. If Man United send Onana and Rashford on loan, that ain't good enough. That ain't good enough. If we're doing loan deals, that stinks more than a bad fart. And that fart is massively stenchy. Honestly, if they let them go on loan, it shows how desperate we actually are getting. It's so pure desperation. Let Rashford and Onana go. They don't want them back in the team. Let them go. Let them go for cheap. I don't care. Their wages are going to be off the book. You'll get a transfer fee. It might not be the money you want, but at the end of the day, they're out of the club and they're gone. You're going to save money anyway. So there ain't no excuse to Rashford and Onana still being here. Man United should have been ruthless, and unfortunately, Rashford isn't willing to lower his wage. Marcus Rashford is not willing to lower his wage. That is disgusting, by the way. So we're basically getting held. We're basically being blackmailed then. We're basically being blackmailed by Marcus Rashford. I'm not willing to lower my wage. I'm not willing to lower it. I want to stay at Barcelona. I don't care if he wants to stay at Barcelona. I couldn't give a shit. You've got to lower your wage, mate, if you want to go. You can't be going dictating to Barcelona. Well, I want to be on the type of wage Man United had me on. No. You want to go back to Barcelona? Nothing will change drastically until the poison is out of the club. Hashtag Glazers out, says Matt P. Yeah, completely agree. Nothing is ever going to change until the Glazers and Ineos do one. Jason says, I think PSG have Rashford, potentially. Mate, take a chill pill. There's a long summer there. Please drop me a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. We're really trying to grow this community, so please drop those follows and tap the screen. I'm really trying to grow this community. Exactly. This is the problem. This is the big problem. Would you change from 300k to 200 or 150? I don't necessarily know what's going to happen. I don't necessarily going to say what's going to happen, but I'm not feeling confident with what's going on. I'm just not feeling confident. Say what you want. We spent money under the Glazers in this recruitment team and we've changed that. Glazers feed you hundreds of millions, and how are they the problem? Your top 6 lot are too privileged. Why are we still giving Bruno 400k a week to stay? They want to give Bruno Fernandes a new contract, but that new contract's on hold until they sort this midfield out. Apparently, we are not doing any new contracts until this summer window shuts. So you've still got the whole of July, and you've still got the whole of August and the rest of June. And I'm not being rude or anything, and I'm not trying to bring a downer, but we're on the 11th of June already. We're on the 11th of June already. You can buy the entitlement. You can buy better than most clubs, yet you're still annoyed, says Stokesy. I'm annoyed, and I'm not annoyed. I'm frustrated. Frustrated and annoyed are two different meanings. I'm not annoyed. I'm just frustrated about the transfer business. We've only done Ederson. All we've done is brought Ederson. That's all we've done. Where's midfielder number 2? Where's midfielder number 3? Yes, we may be in talks for Alex Scott, and we may be in talks for bloody Mateus Fernandes. I get that. I understand that. But these deals and negotiations are taking too long. I don't know what Man United are waiting for. I know we don't want to overpay anymore. We don't want to get ripped off. We want Manchester United to be the club they once were. But if all your targets go, if all Manchester United's midfield targets go, we are potentially going to be left with Hayden Hackney and possibly Belieber. And if we don't get Alex Scott and we don't get Fernandes and Tonali and Anderson are at Man City, then we're screwed. We're absolutely screwed. We're basically up the creek without a paddle. Frustrated why? Trying to be in a club better ran but can't spend as much. What did you think was going to happen? 4 new signings in 4 days, says Dean. Belieber's got worse stats than Agate, by the way, says Ben. That's true. We need 4 midfielders, 1 fullback and a Rafael Leao for intensity. Please drop me a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. I'm going to be honest, Dean. I'm going to be honest about it, and I'm going to pin your comment. I want Man United to be quicker. Man United are too slow. I expected Man United to really absolutely let rip on this market. Any signings next week, says get some sleep? I don't know. I generally don't know. But if it's like this next week and we haven't done anything, no one's been signed, no one's been sold, then we're going to have to do these updates again where I'm going to be banging my drum about what's going on. Like, seriously, what's going on? It's like some of the people on the United stand have said, Man United are going to end up having to pay up. Man United are going to have to pay up for somebody. You can't just sit there and say, we're not getting dictated to, we're not going to give in to some of these clubs' demands. But if you don't get Tonali and he ends up at City, what are you going to do? We're not buying Elliot Anderson. We're not buying Elliot Anderson. That pipe dream was a pipe dream. If we thought we were getting Elliot Anderson, we were all fooled. And Man United have wanted him for the last 9 months. And we ain't getting him. I'm a Liverpool fan and we need wingers, but I wouldn't take Leao. He's not good enough for the Prem. Everybody's welcome on here. Everybody is welcome on here, no matter what football club or football team you support. Everybody's welcome. So please drop a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. We've only got 150 million budget until any sales are made. We've already spent 35 million. You're buying Fernandes for 90 million. Fernandes, Tchouameni, Hall, second striker. Give him to Milan and pay them to keep Leao away from us, says Dean. I just want Man United to be quicker. Like, I'm not trying to moan. I'm just frustrated. Like, I honestly expected, soon as we got Ederson in, I thought the second midfielder would happen pretty quickly. Like, we're nearly like 10 minutes away from it being Friday morning. When's this Fernandes bid going in then? When's this Fernandes bid going in? Is it going to go in tomorrow? Is it going to go in at the weekend? Is it going to go in next week? I don't know when. And Divock Origi says never. Christian Tangen has said your preferred midfield next season. My preferred midfield would be Kobbie Mainoo, Bruno Fernandes or Matheus Fernandes, or Kobbie Mainoo, Tonali and Bruno. That would be my midfield I would like. Nemecha has the physical attributes and is technically sound. Goretzka is an ideal replacement. I don't want Leon Goretzka. I would not take Leon Goretzka. I think he's too old. I think Leon Goretzka is way too old. Tonali and Stiller. I don't know why we're not in for Stiller. I don't know why we're not in for Stiller, because I know he was in talks to go to Juve. But it looks like that ain't happening. So I don't know why we've not looked at Stiller. R says Wharton. I don't know why we're not looking at Wharton, to be fair. I think that's a good shout. I don't know why we're not looking at Adam Wharton. Do you like Alex Scott, says Christian? I think Alex Scott's a good player, but I ain't paying 80 million for him. I'm not paying 80 million. Fernandes already said United is priority, so United are going to stall till West Ham lower their asking price. Goretzka is too slow for the German league. That's why Bayern bench him. How would he handle the Prem? Exactly. Please give me a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. I'll take Alex Scott over Wharton, says get some sleep. What happened to the Bruno Guimaraes deal? That Bruno Guimaraes deal was bullshit. The Bruno Guimaraes deal was bullshit. That was never happening. It was just transfer bullshit. That was never happening. Even though he's a good player. I mean, I would take Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali and Lewis Hall. I would take all three if I could. I would take all three. But Newcastle ain't going to sell all three. I can tell you that now. Does it actually affect us as fans if he's good enough to spend the money? It's an entertainment sport. Exactly, Kyle. Exactly. It is an entertainment sport. You're absolutely right. It is an entertainment sport. Felix Nemecha is the name. Tonali and Stiller would be perfect, says MUFCJ25. Please give me a follow if you're watching in the live chat. And obviously, please tap the screen. We're really trying to grow this community, and I can't do it without your guys' support. Since Ederson went to the World Cup, that's not been confirmed till after the World Cup. That is very true. You know Ederson's not getting signed till July, right? You know Ederson is not getting signed till July because he's now at the World Cup. Imagine if Ederson gets injured. Imagine if Ederson gets injured at the World Cup. Are we then going to have to go and sign another 3 midfielders? Because if Ederson gets injured, and you're going to have to hope he doesn't. I mean, he was a late call-up for the World Cup, by the way. He was a late call-up because their right-back Wesley got injured. If he gets injured, you're then going to have to go and sign another midfielder as well as another 2. Lots of clubs aren't going to make moves until July. But the problem is the Premier League fixtures are out next week. The Premier League fixtures are out next week. You've got to think about that as well. Can't see him getting much game time to risk injury, to be fair, says Wolves for Life 5. Yeah, please follow me on TikTok if you're watching. Tap the screen. If an English centre-back gets injured, could Maguire go? Yeah, potentially Maguire could be a late call-up, but I don't think he's going to get called up after what his mum did and absolutely lost her shit when he didn't get called up by the England squad, by Thomas Tuchel. So I don't think that's going to happen. To compete for titles, you have to spend big money. These days, we need to get a big signing. Exactly. I don't know why it ain't open checkbook. I don't know why Man United aren't saying to Michael Carrick, here you go, Michael. Here's an open checkbook. You go and sign who you want. We'll get you every player that you ask for. And every player that you want to sell, we will get rid of them for you. We won't do a loan move. We'll make sure we get money. But they're not doing that. They're not backing Michael Carrick. They're doing exactly what they did to Ollie. He wanted Jude Bellingham and they didn't get him. He wanted Erling Haaland and they didn't get him. They gave him Donny van de Beek and Jadon Sancho and Cristiano Ronaldo. And to be honest with you, we only brought Ronaldo back because he was going to go to Man City. That's the only reason we brought Ronaldo back, is because he was going to go to Man City. We can't let a mantra have full control over transfers. Madrid want Fernandes, says Bradley. We need Elliot Anderson ASAP. We're not getting Elliot Anderson. Man United have pulled out of that. Man United aren't going in for Elliot Anderson. I hate to disappoint you, but we're not going in for him. Man United have got no entertainment putting in or matching the bid. They're not going to do it. If Madrid get Fernandes after they just got Bernardo, surely we go for Tchouaméni. I mean, it's a good shout, Bradley. It is a good shout. I mean, if Tchouaméni becomes available and Fernandes goes to Real Madrid as well as Bernardo Silva, that is a good shout. I will give you that. That is a very, very good shout and a good compromise. If you don't get Fernandes and Bernardo Silva goes to Real Madrid with him, do you then go and get Tchouaméni? Real Madrid have literally confirmed Tchouaméni isn't leaving. Why would Madrid bring two midfielders if they wanted to keep Tchouaméni? We'll never win a league title until we realise you have to spend to be big to compete. Bernardo's signing means Madrid's 25 squad spots are taken. They need to sell first now, says Dan. Exactly. Please drop me a follow. Tap the screen. Would really appreciate it if you guys are new and watching in the live chat. Everybody's welcome on here. We're trying to grow this community. I just hope Man United get their ass into gear. Like, I'm not trying to moan. I'm not trying to complain. I just want Manchester United to be a little bit quicker. I'm not happy the way this window's going. I know it's not officially open till Monday. I know there's a World Cup, but business still can be done. Signings can still be made. Players can still be sold. There's not really any excuse Man United can really come up with, really, because there's loads of players that they could sign. There's loads of players they could get rid of that aren't at the World Cup. So you haven't really got an excuse. You haven't really got an excuse. And MUFC J25 said perfect transfer would be Matheus Fernandes, Tonali, Munoz to replace Dalot and a winger. Well, we want three midfielders. We want a left back. We want a backup goalkeeper. We want a striker. We want a left winger. But if you get Lewis Hall out of Newcastle, you wouldn't really need to go and get a left winger, would you? Because would you guys be happy with Patrick Dorgu as the left winger next season? Would you guys be happy with Patrick Dorgu as the left winger? Would you guys be happy with that? Would you guys be happy? If you don't get Patrick Dorgu and you've replaced Luke Shaw for Lewis Hall, would you guys do that? Would you guys take Lewandowski as a backup striker? He's doing very well, says David Reitsinger. Getting Lewis Hall is a huge for me, says Dan. Tom Wood says yes. Get some sleep, says Dan. Agreed. Sell Dorgu, he's rubbish, says Nasav. Dorgu and Kuhn have already shown what they can do off the left, says Dean. Exactly, they have. So again, if you get Lewis Hall, you don't really need a left winger because you could use Dorgu and Matheus Cunha there. Harry Amas, I think, is going to get sold. If Harry Amas was good enough, he would be involved in the first team. And I think he would be involved in pre-season. I don't think Harry Amas has got a future here. I think he will get sold. They're going to invest in some World Cup overhyped kid who will learn a lot on PPO shit, says Brandon. Dalot needs replacing more than Dorgu does. Amas can play in the midfield and left back. Harry Amas has been injured this whole season. I hear PSG has an offer for the West Ham player. If PSG have put a bid in for Matheus Fernandes, he's going to go PSG, isn't he? I mean, you've got JJ Gabriel. You've got JJ Gabriel as the left winger. You could integrate JJ Gabriel in the first team next season. You could. And then you've got Cunha and Dorgu there. And JJ Gabriel. I mean, you've got Lewis Hall at left back instead of Luke Shaw. So you might not have to sign a winger. You might not have to sign one. You've got Shea Lacey as well. Exactly. You have got Shea Lacey. He isn't going PSG. Matheus Fernandes watching it. It's just the clubs negotiating. Well, I hope if PSG or Real Madrid go in for an offer, Man United are going to have to react. Man United are going to have to react. Please give me a follow if you guys in the live chat are watching. And please tap the screen. I wonder PSG will take him. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about because PSG like him. Thank you for the follow, by the way. Welcome. PSG do like him. Real Madrid like him. Arsenal like him. He needs to give Man United the priority. We need it from his mouth that he wants Man United as the priority. That's what needs to happen. He needs to come out and said, Man United is my priority. I want to join Manchester United. That's what needs to happen. He doesn't want to sit on the bench. He wants a club that's going to play him. Exactly. I just really, really hope things start picking up. I would love to get Lewis Hall. If Lewis Hall and Matheus Fernandes are our next two signings, I'm actually going to be very happy. Because you've got a left back that you've probably got there for the next 5 to 6, 7 years in Lewis Hall. You've got a great midfielder in Matheus Fernandes to go with Bruno, Mainu and Ederson. If you get rid of Agate, I wouldn't mind bringing Alex Scott in. And I wouldn't necessarily mind bringing Belieber in. But Belieber's fall off from January has got to be discussed, as well as last summer as well, when we wanted Belieber. Also, I would say you wouldn't need a left winger because you've got JJ Gabriel, Kuna and Dorgu. So you might not need to sign a left winger. The backup striker, I would take Lewandowski on a one-season deal as a backup to Sesko, so Sesko can learn from Lewandowski. If we sign Tchouaméni right now and he ruptures his Achilles at the World Cup, where does that leave us? Exactly. That is a good point. It's a point that's not actually, I've actually thought, Bradley, do you know? I've not actually thought about that. You've made a valid point. It's the same with Ederson as well. It is the same with Ederson. If Ederson snaps his Achilles or does his knee or ankle and he's out for 4 or 5 months, you've then got to go and get another midfielder. Thank you for the follow, Owen Applegate 6. Appreciate you, buddy. Legend, welcome. That's the problem you've got. That is the risk Man United seem to be taking, and I don't like that risk. That's why I'm not too bothered by us not signing on that's at the World Cup. Yeah. Then somehow Ederson gets the call. Then somehow Ederson gets the call up. Well, apparently, the only reason why Ederson's in that Brazil squad is because Wesley got injured. So that's the reason why Ederson's even at the World Cup, because Wesley at right back is injured. That's the only reason Ederson's there. That's the only reason he's there. But it's a good... I'm going to go back to Bradley's point. If Ederson snaps his Achilles and Agate and Casemiro are gone, all you've got is Mainu and Bruno Fernandes. So that might kick Man United into gear thinking, shit, we've lost Ederson to injury. He's not signing for us till July. We're going to have to move. We're going to have to move. The real Connor _ said, apparently Man United are preparing an offer for that RC Lens midfielder, Mamadou Sangare. I don't know if that's true, but it has been mentioned today, so I will pin your comment. I still think we need a centre-back, says Sam. That's a good... I still think we need another centre-back. I think that's another centre-back we need. I think Lewis Hall is a must at only 21. Yeah, I want Lewis Hall. What I think needs to happen, we need to sort the midfield out. I think as soon as the midfield gets sorted out, and if Agate goes, Matheus Fernandes signs, we'll go and get one more midfielder. That possibly will be Alex Scott or Belieber. Maybe... I mean, if our midfield next season is Bruno Fernandes, Matheus Fernandes, Mainu, and Ederson and Tchouaméni, I'm happy with that. But then where does that put Mason Mount? Because if Mason Mount looks at that thinking, shit, I've got Bruno and the other Fernandes ahead of me, Mainu's ahead of me, Tchouaméni's here, and also Ederson. Where does that put me? Where does that put me? Mason Mount might look at his future here. We need to make a statement by signing Hall and Fernandes early. To let them, Arsenal are too injury prone, unfortunately. I completely agree, Sam. They are too injury prone. They need to sell him. He's always injured. I'd be buzzed with Tchouaméni for half the price of Anderson. Exactly. M7 says he's going to run his contract down. No one's going to buy. And M7 is going to ruin his contract down. No one's going to buy him. Please give me a follow if you're watching. Please tap the screen. Would really appreciate it. I just hope Man United sort the midfield out, because the midfield has been such a big issue. It's a big issue more than those big issue magazines that get sold on your high street. Like, I want Man United for the midfield not to be a problem. I want the midfield to be a progress, not a backward step. Mount's contract has gone up to 250k a week with us getting Champions League, so I can't see him going. Yeah, Mount ain't going to go anywhere. I mean, I wish Mount would go, but he ain't going. What's your honest what's your honest, unbiased thoughts on Mainu? Mainu has to be starting. I want Mainu in more of an attacking midfield position. I want him attacking the box a bit more, getting further forward a little bit more instead of sitting back so much, helping the midfield. I want Mainu to get a little bit more forward and a little bit more of an attacking approach. Depends on Coventry. If they're coming with a 20-minute offer, United would take that. I don't think they would take 20, but it's a good thought. Thank you for the follow, Touron Sharp. Appreciate that. Welcome. But yeah, like, I really, really hope things start picking up. Like, I don't want to be... Well, we're going to do transfer updates every single week. We will do transfer updates every single week to keep you guys updated, because I'm reading stuff on socials, who are in talks to sign, who potentially might get. I'm keeping across everything to give you guys an update. And like I said, I'm not trying to be miserable. I'm just trying to give my honest opinions about where we are as a club. I just want us to be quicker. I know there's a World Cup. I understand that. There is a World Cup. You guys are right. But again, there's a lot of players who aren't at the World Cup that Man United could sign. And I hope to God we're not sat here at the end of June. Because if it hits the end of June and no one else has been signed, we're going on pre-season tour in July. So if no one else has been signed by the end of June, then we're in big trouble. We're in massive, massive trouble. We need a squad that's capable of going far in the Champions League. Depth is key in that competition. Exactly. Big trouble. Well, yeah, I do think we'll be in big trouble. Why not go for Tonali? Because apparently there's rumours Man City might pull out of the Anderson deal, and they might then go for Tonali, apparently. That's a rumour that's going around at the moment. If City don't get Anderson, they might go for Tonali. Tonali's on their list. If they get Tonali, I think I would actually cry. I think I would cry. There won't be tears of joy. Tries a safe signing, in my opinion, says Sam. We still have January to sign players, says Pathway 2. Yeah, I've seen that City want Anderson and Tonali. Yeah, I've seen that as well. But I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. I don't think it's going to happen. It'll be one or the other, hopefully. If they get both, then they've already got a better midfield than us next season. Bro, is the Romero news true? No, the Christian Romero news was bullshit. That was crap. Even Romano came out and confirmed that. Would you take Fernandes after 6 with Alex Scott as the backup 8 for Mainu? But Alex Scott ain't going to come here and want to be sat on the bench. Matheus Fernandes isn't going to want to come here and sit on the bench. They're going to want to play. So, and if you bring Tchouaméni in, if you've got Tchouaméni, Ederson, Fernandes, Mainu. So if you've got Tchouaméni, Matheus Fernandes and Ederson, you've then got Mainu and Bruno. You don't need Mason Mount. Mason Mount's future could be massively, massively at risk because he's got all 5 of them ahead of him. I think there's a lot of players that are going to be bricking this midfield rebuild because a lot of them ain't going to play. Do you prefer Tonali or Anderson? I would like both. I really, really would like both, but I don't think it's going to happen. I would like both. And training on Anderson, United for Tonali if they get Gueye and Semenyo in January. Hackney over Hout says Kick Bandit. Please give me a follow if you're watching. Please tap the screen. We're going to talk for the last minute or so about what's happening with transfers, but it's going to be interesting. But all I will say is I hope the Lewis Hall news is true. I hope the Matheus Fernandes bid is going to go in, and I hope it does go in. But if we hit the end of June and we haven't made any more signings, I think the alarms are going to start ringing at this football club. And I think the fans and supporters are going to be in for one hell of a season again. It ain't going to be a good one. It's going to be a bad one. So all I can say is let's wait and see what happens. But we will be back with more transfer news over next week. And we'll be back live again tomorrow evening as well. If we are going to leave it there. Thanks to everybody that has tuned in. Thank you for all the likes and the gifts and the 2 diamonds. Thank you to everybody that has watched and everyone that has given me a follow. If you haven't followed me already, please drop me a follow and tap the screen. Everybody's welcome on here. No matter what football club or football team you support, everybody's welcome. Everybody's views and opinions are always respected. We may not always agree, we might disagree, but everything gets respected on here because that's the community I'm trying to build. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great rest of your day. Have an amazing weekend. You guys are legends. You guys are legendary. And I'll see all of you on the next one. Good night, everybody.